Welcome to this week's Third Party Thursday. My name is Brandon Cooper and I'm the Chief Risk Officer here at Venminder. In this video, we're going to cover a recap of regulatory guidance on contracts, the importance of contract management, and a few observations on what examiners may expect. Let's turn to the regulatory guidance, specifically to OCC Bulletin 2013-29 and Bulletin 2017-7, which have very prescriptive instructions in the category of contract negotiation. I won't repeat the entire section, but it's worth a detailed read here. To summarize some of the key expectations, the guidance lays out the following: the nature and scope of the agreement, laying out key terms for the contract, particularly around the safeguarding of information, the frequency of review, and a well-documented process for entering into a new relationship. Performance measures or benchmarks, identifying expectations and responsibilities on both sides of the relationship, and the regular reporting required to support it. Responsibilities for providing, receiving, and retaining information, strict standards on frequency and scope of reporting, addressing other regulations, and even providing an exit strategy should one party fail to meet its obligations. The right to audit and require remediation. Again, this is one of the items we frequently see missed: the ability to obtain adequate due diligence and review reports of controls and other examinations. Insurance, the requirement to provide adequate insurance specific to the nature of the relationship. Dispute resolution, determine ahead of time how key differences are going to be settled. Limits of liability, determine who is responsible for loss or for damage. Default and termination, set standards on what events may lead to the termination of the agreement and spell them out in clear and definitive terms. Consumer complaints, require notification and prompt resolution of any level of complaints. Subcontracting, establish standards and approval requirements for engaging additional downstream providers, particularly if they have access to your customers' information. Foreign-based third parties, establish expectations on the selection, hiring, and training of third parties, and focus on their standards for protecting your customers' information. OCC Supervision, the OCC or your prudential regulator will expect the rights to review all work products associated with the service provider. The responsibility for compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. This one's self-explanatory, but the service provider must provide and must follow the rules of law. Cost and compensation. This is often the part that gets the most attention and causes other areas to be overlooked. Ownership and license. Who can use the bank's brand, image, and most importantly, impact your reputation? Confidentiality and integrity. Clear guidelines on the expected behavior and proper maintenance of records. Business resumption and continuity plans. Identify what protocols are in place to maintain normal operations and as best possible when disaster strikes. Indemnification. Which party is liable in the event of something bad happening? To recap, with your contracts, please pay attention to the following: the nature and scope of the agreement, performance measures or benchmarks, responsibilities for providing, receiving, and retaining information, the right to audit and require remediation, insurance, dispute resolution, limits of liability, default and termination, consumer complaints, subcontracting and fourth parties, foreign-based third parties, regulator supervision, responsibility to be compliant with all applicable regulations, cost and compensation, ownership and license, confidentiality and integrity, business resumption and contingency plans, and indemnification. And I know that's a lot to digest. It's worth a thorough review of the regulatory guidance and a detailed description in your own program as to how you plan to incorporate each of these activities into your third-party risk management program. Again, I'm Brandon Cooper, and thanks for watching. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our Third Party Thursday series.